Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to a video called 9 Finnish music artists you have to check out. This is from a channel called Aleksi Lina, Finland relocation expert, so check it out. I don't think I've heard of a lot of Finnish artists. Probably I have, but I have no idea they're Finnish, probably. So I'm excited. So let's check it out and comment, like and subscribe.
What's up guys, today is the video that many of you have been waiting for. We're gonna talk about Finnish music today. And I'm gonna tell and share you 9 Finnish artists that you definitely have to check out. And we're gonna focus on bands that sing in English. And we're not gonna have any metal bands on this video because Finnish metal music deserves a video of its own.
Ooh,
let's go.
Cool. Sunrise Avenue.
Sunrise Avenue is a Finnish rock band originally formed in 2012. The band has sold more than 2 million albums and 2 million singles and has played several tours around Europe. They have been especially popular in Germany, Austria and Switzerland. For example, their best of album, Fairy Tales, went
all German-speaking countries, which is weird because they sing in English.
Straight to #1 in Switzerland and Germany when it got published. This is one of my personal favorites too, and it used to play in the radio when I was a kid, and that's just why I remember this band so well.
It's cool, it's like pop rock, sort of pop rock, soft. I like it. Oh wait, I think I've heard this song. It's cool. What's the name of that song?
And a little bit different here. Darude is not a rock band, but still deserves a spot here. Ville Virta.
Hold on, I'm gonna rewind this. It's quite cool. Hold on. It's called Darude, and what's the name of that song? That's the little title. I think I've heard
And
this.
a little bit different here. Darude is not a rock band, but still deserves a spot here. Ville Virtanen, or are better known as Darude, is a Finnish DJ and record producer. He started making music in the mid-90s and released the huge hit Sandstorm, which probably every one of you have heard. And Sandstorm is actually one of the songs that became a huge meme, an internet phenomenon.
Why?
Thanks to different YouTubers and gamers who shared it on the social media. And probably every one of you have heard What's That Song Meme, because that's Darude Sandstorm.
Yeah, I don't know where, but I'm pretty sure like this rings a huge bell to me. So yes, probably I've heard of this. Oh yeah, I think I've reacted to this one.
The Rasmus started their career when they were still back in the school in 1994. They have sold 4 million albums worldwide and won different awards. And they used to be also really hot stuff when I was a kid. Their songs were playing in the radio all the time. And this is a childhood classic for me. I just have to deny it, and definitely worthwhile to check it out.
Yeah, it's a cool song. It's really like hard rock. Well, at least this song. I don't know their other songs. Him, some Wings of the Butterfly.
Him is a gothic rock band which is
reminds me a little bit of the other, just because they're like black-haired rock. I don't know. They're the frontman. It's like, I don't know, blue-eyed, black-haired guy, and like hard rock.
one of the most commercially successful Finnish bands of all time. Sells more than 10 million records.
They sound different
also
though.
Had appearances in films and TV series like Transformers and Viva la Band. Again, this one is two of my childhood classics, played in the radio when I was like 15 years old. Good stuff.
Okay, so it's like they're famous. Well, that's why they have the video.
Finnish Idols in 2003. Back then she was only 17 years
like
old. Finnish radio channel Yle Access that Alma is the most promising exporter of Finnish music. The first time I heard her songs, I immediately started to think of Adele. I think her voice is as beautiful as hers.
It's true. It reminds me of like she has a particular tone of voice that it's true. It reminds me a little bit of Adele. Although obviously the music is different and obviously the voices are different, but it does remind me a little bit. Like the tone is similar. Lift. Poets of the Fall.
Poets of the Fall is an alternative rock band which started back in 2003
and
have won 4 gold and 2 platinum awards. I especially like their song Lift because it's like an energetic song and you can use it, you know, for example when you're working out or running. I think this band became famous when I was a little bit older, 20 something, I'm not sure. I kind of feel like that way though, but it's still good stuff and remember to check it out.
A lot of rock I'm seeing on this list. Hurricanes, get on. Ooh, I
For
like
this one, we
it.
have to go a little bit further.
70s?
Hurricane was a really popular rock band in Finland in the 70s and in the 80s. Their style was straightforward rock and roll.
Yes,
and
I love
Hurricanes
it.
is considered to be the first Finnish rock band who also gained commercial success overseas. And
Ooh.
I remember I wasn't even born when these guys were already kicking ass, but
Yes.
even as a guy in my mid-20s, I can still remember them quite well.
Yes. Oh my god, I love it. How can you not love this? This is incredible. Hanoi Rocks, tragedy. This is their 80s,
This
I
one
think.
as well goes back to the 70s.
Oh,
Hanoi
it's
Rocks
the
was the
70s.
first band to make it to the charts in UK, and surprisingly they were also popular in Japan. And they're actually not playing anymore, but still worth to check out. And this wasn't my personal favorites actually, but together with Hurricanes, they were kind of pioneers for Finnish rock music back in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, I would assume they're like they created like a precedent, and probably a lot of rock bands that came later, they used this. Well, they were listening to this as a huge influence. They probably had a big influence in like modern rock bands. Freeze Tyler, Bomfunk MCs. Oh, it's rap. That's what
This
that
hip-hop
is the
group
freestyler.
has been active between the 1998 and 2005. Kind of like Darude, Bomfunk MCs was known for its huge hit Freestyler. Freestyler got actually #1 ranking in charts in different countries like Turkey, Australia, New Zealand, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, the Netherlands, Italy and Germany.
So
and in the
super-
UK it made the #2 position, which is really good
Massively
in my
famous.
opinion. And
Yeah.
another huge childhood classics for me, definitely. And I think I just went like 12 years younger when I heard this song on the YouTube. Definitely go check it out as well.
Okay, yeah, so like they were massive, or at least this song was massive.
That's all for Finnish music today. What was your personal favorite? Sharing is caring, so share your comments down in the below. And remember to subscribe for more awesome Finnish videos in the future as well. See you in the next video. So moro.
I think it's like really I just okay, so yeah, like the influence, I think a lot of these bands, I think everything sort of it's sort of, I don't know, retroactively, I don't know, just there's like a lot of influence that I could see like from other bands or from other like parts of the world in this, and I can probably see how they also feed each other like that influence into other bands in Finland. I don't know. I was thinking how like influential I think some bands and some types of music are, but how everything's constantly like feeding off each other. So it doesn't really, nothing really happens like isolated from anything else. It's just, oh, what's happening? Like you can really see the example in like the Hurricane one, for instance, and the one that came afterwards. It was the, how they were called, the Hanoi whatever, like can't remember the name. But they were like very, I don't know, just like they sounded very similar, I think, to other like normal other like rock bands from the 70s and from the 80s. So it just tells me, again, they were probably being influenced by other types of other bands of that time period, other rock bands, you know, in Europe and in the US, in Canada and whatever. And then, of course, they also do, because you put your own touch, like having and being influenced by another band or another singer or another anything. And I think that just happens in every other realm, that whether that is, I don't know, like film or, you know, like music, literature, like everything. I think it's really, you know, being influenced by something. It's not bad, you know, it's good because it really does, you know, it's not a copy or anything. No, because you are being influenced, and that probably inspires you to create something because you are inspired by this, you're being influenced by this big thing. And then you can create your output like based on that. So you give it your own twist because it's going to be something that's obviously yours. And then, you know, you put out something in the world, and then, you know, great. And then like 10 years later, that maybe, or again, maybe immediately, who knows, someone is inspired by that, and you in turn influence another person. So it's really funny, I think, how everything sort of trickles down. And if you imagine like a big cloud, and then, you know, that big cloud, like, oh, it starts raining, and those little trickles of rain, they spark a little inspiration in someone, and then, you know, those in turn like form a big cloud, and then that big cloud also like trickles down all the raindrops, and then they create something. And that's basically, you know, what happens, I think, what has happened throughout history, and what I think will continue to happen, you know, in the future. So in a way, I think it's just how great everything sort of influences each other, and you have like this big thing that probably will influence someone, or something, and you're not, obviously you're not, you're not doing things in this case, like you're not putting out music to influence like someone else. But I don't know, that's really how it works, because that's really how, creative, and yeah, I think any creative sort of realm, it's really how it works. You're not putting this out there to influence or to inspire other people, but without meaning to, it just happens because you absorb this kind of things. And sometimes it's not something that you are even aware of. It's just something that you absorb without meaning to. It's just the music that you were listening to, or something you've heard, I don't know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, maybe sparked, this little again, this spark of inspiration, and you can't really like trace it back to that. But it's really like, if you actually start to think about this, like let's think about this and reflect on this, you probably came to the conclusion, oh, you know what, this is probably because I listened to this song 15 years ago, or I read this piece of, I don't know, this paragraph of whatever, 5 years ago. So it's just how funny how everything works, and how everything's connected, and how everything, again, sort of, it's constantly feeding on each other, and people have no idea like how the impact that may have in the future, and how many people you're able to impact, again, through that trickle down thing, that it's like, oh yeah, probably these people have inspired so many other musicians, so many other bands, that they don't really think about this. And I mean, not even just in Finland, I mean like in the world, because if you think about this, you have like this band from the 70s. Let's assume they inspired, another Finnish band that came out like in the 90s. And then in turn, like 10 years later, 15 years later, then, a band in the 2010s was inspired, or a singer was inspired by, the band in the 1990s. And then if you actually trace it back, it's like, oh, but, this has, this thing that happened in the 1970s. And that in turn, the band from the 1970s, they were actually inspired by this other band, that came out 10 years, before them. So again, it's just how everything's sort of a circle, and it's really funny how you can just, I know, it's lovely actually, it's a good thing that everything has to come out of something, like nothing's created out of nowhere. It's good, and sometimes it's so unrecognizable that you may think, oh, but this, I've never heard of this anywhere else. But no, you probably have heard of it, but because people do make, you put your own twist on things, you make it so unrecognizable that no one's able to, or few people are able to trace it back to the thing that was the main inspiration. But I love it. It's just a lovely thing. As for the music, I think I've heard, yeah, the one that was really, really like, oh, the Rasmus, they're called the Rasmus or Rasmus. I'm a little unsure now. I think it's the Rasmus. I do not know. But yeah, I think this song, I've reacted to this. It's really like a hard rock sort of song, although maybe not even that hard rock. I think there's probably like heavy metal. Well, not heavy metal. I think that's another genre. But it's just like quite hard rock, little gothic. It's really catchy though, because I think one of the, rock music as a whole, it's not, it's not pop, so it's not necessarily, you have riffs that are very catchy, but I think with rock music, I think it's just a little bit harder to, I don't know, to make something ahead, because it's not as catchy as some songs, like some pop songs, or some like techno songs or dance songs that are just automatically, like, they're designed to like be stuck in a loop in your brain. So it's really hard, I think, when rock bands or a rock song actually, maybe goes viral or goes like famous, because it's kind of, well, maybe not famous, but it's just like charts like a number one. I find it a little bit, wow, it's what, I don't know, I wonder what happened there, because I think it's just a little bit harder for the rock music in general to sort of be, popular, because it's just not as catchy. But maybe, in a way it is, because maybe catchy is not the right word. It's just a little bit less palatable, probably palatable to people, because it's less, I don't know, it's maybe designed not to be, it's not overly, I don't know, optimistic. It's a little bit darker, and I think people tend to be drawn to sort of poppier and happier songs. So I get why, I kind of get the logic why it's hard for like rock music to transcend, borders and stuff, unless it's like a niche thing of like, no, because people that listen to rock, of course, are going to be, what are you talking about? But no, I mean in the general sort of, again, the chart for charting purposes, for instance, and like in the top 40 or whatever it is, like the top 40 in overseas or whatever. But again, I like that song. It's really, again, it's kind of catchy. It's really, again, it's really I think it doesn't really happen that often. It's quite uncommon for like a rock song that's a little bit darker to actually be a little bit catchy, as in, yeah, in the shadows. Yeah, it's a really, and the actual sort of riff, it's just wow, you know, kudos to them, because it's really, I think it's a little bit harder to like chart something like this than something that's just more overly poppy. The other was, oh, the one that's called like, what's the name of that song? I cannot tell you where I've heard this. I don't know if I've reacted to this. Maybe I have reacted to this. I have no idea. But it's just, I've heard this. I know that I've heard of this. He was telling, no, it went viral. So because of the internet, an internet meme or something. So I don't know. I don't really know the specifics, but I know that I've heard of this before. And it's such a like, oh my God, it's so incredibly catchy. But it's what I mean. This is like a techno song, like a dance song. I think it's just a little bit easier to like make it stuck in people's brains. It's just a do. I don't know. It's just like a very, I don't know, it's an assault on the senses in a way. I love it, but it's just like a very boom, 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 boom. It's not like a chill song. It's just a very active song. I'm saying, I don't know, you're probably, I don't know if this was the one. No, I don't think this was the one. But he was mentioning, oh, it's good for like running or like working out. Yes, because it's like, it's very intense. It's like you're feeling like you're bombarded with everything, although it's just music. But I kind of feel as if, I don't know, your brain feels like, like everything's happening. It's happening at the same time. It's like an assault on the senses in a good way, because obviously it's a really pleasant song, but it's not like a chill song. It's just like, I'm pumping, I'm good. Yeah, what do you want me to go? Yeah, where do I run? It's like really good. And of course, I think it's like really clubbing music. I love it. It's just, imagine listening to this at a club. I mean, great, 10 out of 10. The other that I really like was the one that I love the rock song, the Hurricane songs. That the Hurricane song was really, really good. The one the singer that sounds a little bit like Adele, I actually really like her voice. Also, her song was quite poppy, very, even though it was like techno related. Again, it was very poppy in the sense that I can see why it was popular, because it's like a very chill song, like with a beat that's quite like tune. It's just like, oh, of course I can see why this was popular, because it's a really good song. It's really catchy, which I think has all the hallmarks of being like a really good song that charts in a lot of places. And of course, her voice, she has a tone of voice that's really lovely. And the other one that was like the freestyler song, I think it's funny because this one, all the others, I think, and he mentioned a lot of Finnish like heavy metal bands, like they deserve their own video, because I think there's a lot of them. But even in this case, like there was a lot of rock. So I think that Finnish people just really, really like, or they're very into like creating rock music, heavy metal, you know, something that's a little bit more heavy, not as much as pop. No, it's just like they're really into their rock, their guitars, their drums, you know, everything's very doon. And in this case, it's funny because, it's like a hip hop song, which I know, I don't know what the style of like hip hop music it's in Finland, but I think it's just the audio. It tells me that maybe not a lot of people are very into creating like hip hop and rap songs in Finland. Maybe it's a little bit less popular. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but it tells me, probably it's a little bit less popular than other genres in there. So I don't know, just putting it out there. I think that Finnish people just really like their rock music. So good for them. Hopefully they can continue to be like more rock songs and rock bands, because they are really good. So yes, they have like a really good like export quality music in Finland. And that was it for today, and I'll see you soon. Bye.